Okay, now we're live. But I don't know if anyone can see it yet. Thank you, people who are here. I'm curious if anyone will show up. That's always the nerve-wracking thing when you're doing a live stream, is whether or not people will show up or not. Thanks, Danny. Let's see, I'll put the comment up here. Thanks, Danny. Also, Angela is making a sweater, which is pretty rad.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Victoria. So yeah, we had the big, oh my goodness. Hey, Ryan.
Hi.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, baby's here. This is Tessa. Say hi.
She's excited.
She's playing with the toy Captain America here
Hold it.
that I had for Disney Infinity, which is a video game that no longer exists. So these toys are mostly just toys for my babies. Yeah, I don't know how to make a sweater. Angela might. Well, I wonder if Kayla knows how to make sweaters. Do you know how to make sweaters, Kayla? Hey, Slag. Thank you guys for showing up. Yeah, so after that unexpected and surprising and exciting Elliot Brooks shout out yesterday, we broke 2K on the channel. That's so exciting. And I was a little bit, I don't know, just overwhelmed. Like I watched the shout out and I was like, oh, that's super cool. And then Amanda texted me and she was like, you're gonna
So
hit
close.
2K. Well, the thing was that we had talked, she's like, what are you gonna do to celebrate 2K when you get there? And I was like, I think maybe I'll do something silly and celebrate like at 1990 followers because it's the year I was born. And then we didn't get that chance because of the huge influx. So thanks to Elliot Brooks for that.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Angela is a big Captain America fan. So let's see here. Kayla says she knows how to make ponchos.
Love it.
Thank you so much. You guys are really kind. Una says that it's lunchtime. Thanks, Una, for showing up. Thanks, Mom. Emily
Hi,
Rose
kids.
says, thanks for 2,000 subscribers. Emily Rose is also a booktuber. She's been taking a little bit of a break right now. But she is the first person to have ever tagged me in a tag video. And I remember when I was first making tons of friends on BookTube, just like going through and watching BookTube newbie tags. And then I made friends with a bunch of these people. And then Emily Rose uploaded a tag video that she had created. It was original, like small BookTube channel tag. And it was the first time that I was tagged. And I was like, what the heck? This is the coolest thing ever. And
He was a little giddy, guys.
It wasn't that long ago. I did freak out. I was extremely excited. And like, it's still awesome to get tagged. But unfortunately, I'm behind on tag videos. I haven't made as many of those lately. Thank you so much, Rain. That is very kind. Okay, so Rain says he's from South Africa. That is the weirdest and coolest thing to me, which is that I am making videos like in my literal basement. And now I have made friends to talk about books with all over in the Discord channel. The Discord channel is linked below in the description. But in the Discord channel, at one point I did a call out to try to see how many different countries people were coming from. And it was a lot already, and there's even more people now that are telling me they're from different countries, and that's so cool, and it's so awesome that people all over the world are able to hang out and talk books with me. It's so fun. Thanks for the compliment on the shirt. I had this kick when I think it's, well, I've made a joke about making merch for a while, but I had a kick when my friend Michaela saw the video where I was talking about fall, and I accidentally said that fall is my favorite holiday instead of season. It was completely unintentional. And I was like, oh, that's a silly thing that I could make into a mug, and maybe that could sell to people that like coffee. Even though I kind of made jokes at people that like coffee.
Pumpkin spice coffee?
In my recent video. Yeah. So, well, yeah, I even said that I like pumpkin spice lattes in that video. But
I got one last night.
Which I did get one last night. And I was like, oh, I'll just try making a bunch of different merch stuff. And so I made like this shirt and the fall shirt and mug or whatever. And I was like, this is, I don't know. It was a fun thing for me to do. I don't know how it will do. Ryan asked if I'm going to have chicken wings for lunch. No, I almost always have chicken wings on Thursday because I generally get chicken wings from Buffalo Wild Wings. It's the basic answer. It is a chain. But Thursday, I get boneless wings because I bone-in wings. I know are supposed to be better, but I don't like getting my hands messy when I'm eating. So, yeah, I usually go on Thursdays because it's buy one, get one boneless wings. So you can spend not a lot of money and get a buttload of chicken, which is also like, it just coincided that I put so many of my Twilight videos up on Thursdays, which is why like chicken was a constant theme. It wasn't just me trying to make the same joke over and over again. I do intermittent fasting off and on because I'm not, I'm kind of a bad dieter. And, let's see, where was I going with this? I do intermittent fasting off and on, and so I'm always extremely hungry at the end of that, obviously, because I'm doing like almost a full 24-hour fast when I do that. And it just so happens that I always do Twilight videos on Thursdays, so I can relate to Edward when he's talking about being extremely hungry and I want to eat the wings.
Remove the hat.
Remove the hat? Who said that?
Irene.
Oh no, I am afraid to remove the hat. So it started as a joke. Actually, the first hat that I would wear, can you reach that or no? This is my grandpa's hat. And when I very first made a book video, I was being a little bit more silly with it and I wanted to look refined. And so I wore a hat and I wore a scarf because I wanted to look like a fancy man. And yeah, I don't know if she actually wants that. I wanted to be a fancy man, and so I put on this hat from my grandfather, and it doesn't fit me. I have a giant head. That side of the family has a normal proportioned head, and my head was way too big. But then it also stemmed from the fact that the longer that we went on, the more I realized that the bald spot on my head was growing, and for some reason, I keep finding gray hairs, which I don't mind the gray hairs as much as the balding. I would be okay if I went gray and had a full head of hair. The balding I don't love, so I usually just wear a hat. Oh my word. There's so many of these comments I gotta catch up on. Sometimes I'm watching people and they're like looking at all these comments and like, oh my goodness. It is a lot.
I think I got most of those.
Okay. This is so true.
Oh, this will be a sad question.
What?
Your favorite flavor of wings?
Oh my goodness. My favorite flavor of wings from Buffalo Wild Wings. I love Parmesan garlic and I love hot barbecue. The hot barbecue, I guess, just got dropped off their menu. I think it just got canceled. It's not available online or it doesn't show up in the app anymore. Hot barbecue is my favorite because I like a certain level of spiciness. I like spicy things, but I'm kind of a baby with spicy things. I like a certain level of spiciness, but I don't love things that are overly vinegar flavored. And so most of the time, your hot sauces, especially your buffalo sauces, are extremely vinegar heavy. The hot barbecue at Buffalo Wild Wings was not that way. And now that flavor is gone and I have to find a new flavor. I'm not excited. Excuse me. Oh my word. This is a nightmare.
Oh no.
8 ribs yesterday. We had 0 paper towels in the house.
Got to take a shower after that.
The thing is that I don't like my hands being messy when I'm eating, even though like my favorite foods are like cheeseburgers. I have to like wash my hands as soon as I'm done eating. I don't even like touching my cup that much because I don't like my hands being dirty for some reason. I don't know if that's just a thing or whatever.
Ooh, chicken and waffles.
Chris is making us chicken and waffles for lunch. I really want like waffles or pancakes. That sounds super good right now. I ate a little bit of a breakfast with Tessa. We woke up early today and she had some sausage and we split some scrambled eggs. Let's see here. Hot barbecue is your jam also.
Bad news.
Bad news, my dude. I'm sorry.
All gone.
Have you tried the Asian Zing flavor? I haven't. I don't usually like my sweets and my salties mixed. I know that is probably a bad thing to say. I don't usually like sweet and salties mixed. Oh my goodness. Scrambled eggs is where it's at. Do I have a pre-filming ritual? Brush my teeth before I record. I used to be a lot more particular about it. Like I used to like make sure that I shaved and make sure that I was like really, really, really well put together. And I don't know. I don't want to say that I'm just a slob when I film now, but I feel like I'm just more comfortable when I film now. As far as an actual pre-filming ritual,
put the children to bed.
It's pretty much put the children to bed because I don't want Amanda to just have to go solo with the babies. We have this little one, Tessa, and we have Charlie and Molly, who are 4 and 3 respectively, which I found out means that you're saying more than one thing. That's what that means. You're referring to more than one thing and you're separating them. Do you guys know that?
His parents are watching the older two right now, which is why Tessa and I are able to be here.
Okay. These says, I love how somehow the book fam always devolves into food. I love food so much, and it's true. It's prevalent in all of my videos. It's prevalent in so many of my book discussions. What's your prep like before a video shoot? So this might be something that's interesting if you want to make videos or something yourself. I don't really script. I usually, when I'm reading a book, I make mental notes of everything. I have made a note. I have made notes before. With my original Twilight video, I made notes. I have tried scripting videos before. With my Warbreaker video, I scripted everything. And it just didn't really change that much about the video. I could have probably explored it more and see if it was done better. But usually in my head beforehand, I will go in with like a format of knowing what I want to hit. I will try to make sure to make a mental note of all the points that I want to make. And then I just sort of go. The truth is that I have this little office here. So I have my lights in the same place all the time. I have a chair in the same place in front of my green screen all of the time. I would show you, but I dumped all of the stuff that made my office messy over there. And thankfully, it's pretty much, I come down here with the mental thing. I check my audio. I do a couple video checks to make sure the light is not glaring off my glasses too much, which it obviously still does. And then I just start talking. And often I formulate my thoughts as I go, which means that I have to edit a lot. I edit out almost half of everything that I do. People have made jokes and said, why don't you upload an unedited video? I think it would be funny. It would not be funny. It would be nothing. It would be me saying, I think this about a book. And then thinking for a very long time about what I want to say next. And then I would say another sentence to paragraph. And then I would pause again. And it is almost entirely dead silence. And sometimes I will just mess up words. So I recut it all. I do so much editing on my videos because I cannot talk. I like Brandon Sanderson's storytelling, but his bare prose grates on me. Do you think that the modern fantasy trend of less spectacular prose is good or bad for the genre? So, real quick backstory. I didn't read for a long time in my adult life. I read a couple books a year, maybe, after reading a ton when I was a kid, and now starting to read a ton again. So I may not be the most qualified person to answer this question, but based on my feel for everything, based on all of the reading that I'm doing currently, do I think that the modern fantasy trend of less spectacular prose is good or bad? I think it's just a preference thing. However, reading Brandon Sanderson, I loved it. It never bothered me. I still, like, even for someone who has straightforward prose, it doesn't bother me that much. I have been reading Robin Hobb, though, and Robin Hobb's prose is amazing, and it's reminding me of, like, the classic stuff, like a Tolkien stuff, but, like, easier to read. But, like, Robin Hobb's prose is changing my mind on this. It's making me wonder why all authors don't write the way that she does, because it's so beautiful and it's so wonderful, and I'm loving the, like, whatever, the Farseer trilogy, whatever that is. I'm loving it so much. So, do I think it's bad, good or bad for the genre? I think there's still both that exist. I think that the straightforwardness sometimes gets more people into it, and that's cool. More people reading fantasy is cool. But also, I'm starting to really, really, really love better prose. Bye, Casey. Let's see here.
Thanks for hopping on.
I can't script much either. I think there was something about glasses in here. Oh my goodness. Michaela, are you sad Stephanie Meyer hated Team Jacob fans so much she had to crush your soul? I don't jump back to my Twilight videos. I don't know. I mean, I know why she did what she did at the end of the series. I guess spoilers for Twilight. I'll try to be vague. I don't know why she did what she did with the series, but my only conclusion is that she wanted to pretend to give Team Jacob fans a happy ending. But in reality, she had a problem with it. I don't know if Jacob fans are mean to her or what. Am I sad about it? Absolutely. 100%. How much are you thriving with this fall weather right now? It's amazing. We said that we got pumpkin spice lattes yesterday. The big kids are at their grandparents' house. That's why we only have Tessa here, and the house is quiet. That's a rarity. How am I thriving with the fall weather? It's amazing. We have our windows open so we can get fresh air that isn't just recycled. I can go outside. I get hot very easily. I get grumpy when I'm hot, so I always struggle with that. But it's amazing fall weather, and I love it so much. It makes me a happier person. It makes me want to be outside more, which I think is better for me. You look sleepy. But fall is my favorite holiday, so let's see. Oh my goodness, the comments jumped. Glasses Life. I think that's in relation to the editing with the video. Yeah, the glare on the cameras. Oh my goodness. Do I have any books that I want to read that you haven't seen anyone on BookTube review? Yes. When I started reading when I first started this channel, kind of, one of the books that I got into really early on was by an author named A.G. Riddle. He wrote the Extinction Files, and he wrote like my favorite series from last year, which was all 3 books came out last year. It was like the Long Winter trilogy, I think. And he also has another series of books called the Atlantis Gene. Well, the first one's called the Atlantis Gene. I can't remember the name of the series as a whole, but I want to read more A.G. Riddle. I don't really ever see anyone talk about A.G. Riddle. I went to Half Price Books the other day, and they had Pandemic as a physical copy, and I feel bad for not buying it because I really like that book. I guess don't read it if maybe it's not the best time to read it. It is about a pandemic. It's a very, very, very bad pandemic, but it goes places. But yeah, some of the smaller books like that I don't see anyone talk about. How long does it take you to edit a video? On average, between 2, 3, or 4 hours, depending on the video. Like I said, I am very bad. Some people are like, well, maybe it has to do with the green screen or some of the other stuff you do. That doesn't take very long. I'm very bad at talking. I'm very bad at editing. I'm getting better. Hopefully, it takes me less time as time goes on, unless I get ambitious and want to do something better. Rate these 3: Sanderson, Lewis, Tolkien. Tolkien has had the most influence on the genre as a whole. I was saying this in my Discord the other day. I don't think that there is anything that has ever been as influential to something as Tolkien was to fantasy. I just don't think that exists in any type of art that I can think of. You can prove me wrong in the comments. So maybe like Tolkien, Sanderson, Lewis, as far as like fantasy writing goes, though I do like love the Chronicles of Narnia. I've talked about that. I feel like I missed something. Maybe not. Kayla mentions the point that, yeah, I think that I agree with, which is simpler stuff is able to get more people into it. And I do want more people reading fantasy. I think that's way cooler. And also, I love talking to people about books. So that's my thing. Robin Hobb's prose is gold. Absolutely. Thank you for stopping by, Danny. Let's see. Would you rather have a dirty... Do you say Kai or chai?
Chai.
Dirty chai latte and pumpkin spice latte, or would you rather be wrong? Okay. I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
It's not my favorite.
I'm
you
guessing.
should try it though. You might like it.
I'm guessing your
a
pumpkin
lot of
spice.
people like it. I prefer pumpkin spice.
Is it sweet?
I mean, it can be.
Like, is it something that's natural? I'm assuming you have to add a bunch of sugar. I'm really bad at drinking bitter things, guys. I like a lot.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Or full of spice.
When lockdown started, I had the stand flashbacks. Not pretty. I know a bunch of people that when everything started, they were like, let's do it. Let's get into the stand and other similarly themed things. I was like, hey, everybody does what they want. It was a joke, actually. When I started quarantine initially and everything was on full lockdown, I was like, oh, this is a good opportunity for me to read more of my physical books that I own that I never get to read because mostly I read ebooks. It works better with the way that my flow goes. And it just so happened like the first 3 books that I picked up were all pandemic-y related. Like it was completely unintentional. It's not something that they even advertise. I don't know if talking about it would be spoilers, so I don't want to say it, but like it was like 2 different young adult series and then another adult series I started reading. Just so happened to have pandemics as a main theme. Thank you. I think Tessa looks like her mom. Chai with a shot of espresso. I don't know if I like espresso. I don't love coffee is the thing. So if I drink coffee, I make it super, super sweet, which is what Michaela said. It is super sweet. It's why I've tried drinking black coffee. It's a weird thing because I want to be more healthy and be drinking less sugar, but I don't like things that aren't sugary. So I've tried to drink like black coffee or just plain tea.
Well, he also has 0 caffeine tolerance.
Yeah, I don't drink caffeine. I accidentally stopped drinking caffeine when I was a teenager. I drank caffeine all the time. And then when I was an adult, I realized I don't love soda that much. I would rather drink like milk, which is weird. I'll drink milk with anything. So I accidentally stopped drinking caffeine. The only soda that I really, really love is root beer, which is not caffeinated. So without trying, I accidentally quit drinking caffeine. And when I do drink caffeine, it makes me really hyper. And then I crash and I feel like people say when they're having like an anxiety attack. That's how I feel when I come off caffeine, and I hate it. So yeah, I mostly like sweet things, but also I just in 2020, just now, when I was like, I really want a pumpkin spice latte, but I hate caffeine. Amanda, you said
you could get decaf.
And I was like, you can just do that?
It blew his mind, you guys.
I was like, you can just get decaf coffee with like any drink? She's like, yeah. And I felt so stupid, but also it was revelatory to me. Somebody asked if I've read, Mom asked if I read G.K. Chesterton. I've not read him or her. I don't know. But Slag says it's interesting. Okay. Victoria agrees with Michaela.
Gotta try it. I have a Scooters coupon. Let's do it.
Scooters is our local competitor to Starbucks. I don't know how broad that is.
It's a chain.
I assume it's just a local chain, but I don't know.
I mean, Midwest at least.
Coffee bean makes a pumpkin spice chai that tastes like liquid pumpkin pie filling. That sounds delicious. I like pumpkin pie. Is Coffee Bean like a brand of...
I think it's a coffee shop.
Okay. I know very, very little about this stuff. Angela talks about Ryan reading The Road. Another pandemic good choice. I remember that video coming out Angela is from Literature Science Alliance, which is an awesome channel that you should check out.
You're losing subs.
What?
Because of your strong coffee opinions.
Oh my goodness. Did somebody say that?
Right here, you just went over it. Right here.
What? Oh no. I'm sorry. If you could make two authors you love have a baby, their gender doesn't matter, who would you want to see combined into one super writer? I don't know. I feel like there's probably a really smart answer, but since I'm being put on the spot, I love like Sanderson's stories and his world building, but right now I love Hobbes' prose. So like if we could get,
I knew you would say that.
well, it's like the default answer, and I'm very, very short-sighted when I'm saying that because I'm not thinking about it. But I do love Sanderson's stories so much, and it's his like personal character arcs. But also, I love reading the Farseer trilogy more, like the act of reading it more than any other book that I'm reading right now. Even if like the plot is super crazy in another book, I just love reading Robin Hobb. I think you can have a beautiful, simple prose. I find Rothfuss's prose super readable. It's also stunning. I feel that way about Hobb as well. I don't think it's hard to read. I made the comparison to Tolkien earlier. That was more of just like a general classic thing. I've never read Rothfuss, but I very, very, very much want to read The Name of the Wind. Everyone is telling me that I should, and the fact that I'm loving Prettier Prose more makes me want to read it even more. Oh my word. Okay, if you had to go 6 months without chicken wings or wait 6 months before reading Rhythm of War, which would you choose? It would definitely be, I would go 6 months without chicken wings. I love chicken wings so much. It would be harder if it were burgers. I talk about wings more. It would be harder if it were burgers, but I would still need to read Rhythm of War because I am just so afraid I'm going to be spoiled. And I don't know why that bothers me. Some people don't care. Milk is amazing. Thank you for stopping by, Dan. Staying up for the honor of coffee.
Awesome.
You love coffee? We have coffee represented. The kids like to drink your coffee if you let them, but we don't want them to drink too much.
No. They try to sneak it, though.
I didn't know you could just get decaf with every drink.
It blew his mind.
I was like, but like any drink, I can just get decaf? I didn't know that was a thing. I don't know why. It's very obvious. I know what they're doing. They're mixing different drinks together. I'm very dumb. Big Jing. Okay, so that's the thing that she was talking about earlier. What was the name of it?
Coffee bean, I think.
Yeah, I think that was it.
She said. A vehicle to drink some creamer. Yeah.
This is really bad. And
I'm a fake coffee lover.
This is me admitting why I'm an unhealthy person. It's less common now, but back in the days when I was younger and more foolish, sometimes I would just go into restaurants and take the French vanilla coffee creamers and just take them like shots. Like I get like 2 of them and drink them over the course of the meal. French vanilla coffee creamer is just like delicious. Let's see here. Thank you, Donna. Thank you so much. Bookish Burrow is the very first BookTube channel that I ever found. And I was looking for channels to follow of similar like size to me before I even started BookTube. Bookish Burrow was the first BookTube channel that I found. And her talking about being excited about reading the books that she was reading and me remembering how much I used to love reading books was a major contributing factor into me getting back into reading. So thank you so much for that, Donna. You should go check out her channel. I will see you later, Rain. Thank you for stopping by. Kayla thinks I would like Name of the Wind. I'm feeling the vibes that I agree. Is it nap time?
Yeah, it's getting close. I have to hop off here.
Best advice for new authors, especially self-pub.
Baby.
So this is an indie author.
Bye-bye.
Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
So as far as advice to give to authors, let's see if I can move this camera. Oh my goodness. Advice to give to new authors. I don't know if I feel qualified to do this. because I am just so new into this. I haven't tried writing in a very long time, but I think that probably just reading books to know what is currently going on and understanding a feel for what people like to read at the time. You don't have to copy it, but understanding the general vibes for what's going on. I think it's always a good idea that when you're creating something in a field to be familiar with that field, which I know that you read and you're familiar with modern books. So I think that's a very good start. Oh no. Dan says he would say quite a bit against Name of the Wind. I've heard a little bit of pushback about the main character being a little too good at stuff. But yeah, mostly I think I would probably like it. There's a question for you, but I'll leave it while you're off camera. Let's see. Have you ever read a book in a day? What was the book you read the most of in one sitting? I have the Wayward Pines trilogy, which I talk about a lot, by Blake Crouch, the same author who wrote like Dark Matter and Recursion. He wrote a trilogy before those, or maybe, I don't know the timeline, I guess. Each of those books I read in a 24-hour period of time. The first two I read straight up, just like almost straight through at once. The third one, it was within 24 hours, but it was like more like 2 sittings. What was the book I read most of in one sitting? If it wasn't those books, it could have been like Words of Radiance, because I read that in a week and it's so long that I could have read constantly through it and not been stopped by the fact that I finished. So it could have been that one. Have you ever heard of the world of that word I don't know and the Empire of the Petal Throne? It's not especially a book, but it has a series of RPGs and worlds. I think something you may find refreshing. I have not heard of that. A series of RPGs is like tabletop RPGs or like a video game. I am curious about that. Yes, thank you, Angela. Creamer shots are so good. They're so sugar. It can't be that much more sugary than like eating candy, right? Like, I feel like it has to be like just eating a concentrated dose of candy. I know that on YouTube it's better to focus on one thing, but if you're going to branch out and do not booktube things, what would it be? My passion before I got back into reading, and one of my biggest hobbies my entire life, has been video games, video game coverage, video game reviews, writing them, watching them, making them. Like, video games have always been a passion of mine. That's a very saturated field, and so it's really hard to do stuff there and be original, but I love gaming so much. That would be awesome. I have heard almost exclusively negative things about Name of the what's the Wise Man's Fear, I think is Name of the Wind book 2 or whatever that series is, book 2 is called. For almost exclusively negative things. I think the exception is, I think, Kayla from Books with Kayla, who is here, and you should check out her channel. I think that she actually likes that one, and I could be corrected if I'm wrong. Also, Books of Kayla, you should check out her channel. If you love the Stormlight Archives, if you've read them already, her Oathbringer reading vlog is one of my favorite experiences, because she did a very good job about capturing the emotion of each scene as she was reading through it in her reading vlog. I love it so much. I've recommended it before, and I will continue to do some. Hello, Udi. Welcome. Let's see. Leslie, her channel is The Nerdy Narrative. She is a good friend of mine, but she has read the first 2 Wayward Pines books and keeps putting off the third one. So I think that I will use this opportunity to publicly shame her. I've told her how amazing it is, and she doesn't listen to me. I'm sorry, Leslie. I'm reading Recursion with a book club. Total mind bend with a few kinds of disturbing. Recursion is a book that I love so much, and honestly, this could be hyperbole, but I remember when I was reading it, I thought, this is the craziest plot to try to pen out that I've ever seen, which is like parts of it are predictable, but oh my word, yes, it is a wild ride. It reads so fast. I think I might have read that in a sitting or two also. I really like Blake Crouch's writing. He's very good at keeping the pace going. Recursion's so good. Okay, so the thing we talked about earlier was tabletop. I haven't played tabletop as much as I would like to. It's just a time thing. I've done it before. I love it, absolutely. What's a creamer shot? We were literally talking about taking shots of just straight creamer without, like flavored creamer without coffee or anything to put it in, like tea to put it in. I just like drinking French vanilla coffee straight. Chat jumped again. Let's see if I can find this spot. Oh, okay. People already answered that in the chat. What? Brandon Sanderson likes Wise Man's Fear better than Name of the Wind. That makes me curious. Oh, man. Slag also liked Wise Man's Fear. Okay, maybe there's more positive things about that within my friend group than I realized. Let's see. Aaron says, after you read Wise Man's Fear, we'll have a chat because all the stuff people complain about, I personally think will have a point, and I'll explain why at length. Aaron and I have talked about Stormlight Archive, and she's very good about spotting things that I completely missed the first and second times. And so I believe you. I actually think that you probably do have some great theories there. Donna says she didn't like Name of the Wind. I think I will like it. I'm curious, Donna, why did you not like it? If you don't mind letting me know. Udi, go to sleep. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I know that where you are, yeah, you should go to sleep. I don't know how much of that you want to be out there. Let's see. People talking about Name of the Wind in the comments here. Yeah, I think the major thing about that series is that we don't know if it's ever going to be finished. I thought that the rumors were that there was going to be the third book this year. I don't know how long those rumors have been going. I thought it was something that maybe like there's been rumors of that forever, but if I were stranded on a desert island and could only have 3 books, what would they be? Crap. I'm assuming this is fiction books. So, I mean, I would probably say The Way of Kings because it's my favorite book. If I want to cheat, I could say The Lord of the Rings because that was originally supposed to be published as one book. Did she go to sleep on the floor?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I rocked her to sleep and then I laid her on the floor.
Nice. So Lord of the Rings, if I count that as one book, The Way of Kings, because I think that's a good standalone. And I guess if I could make it nonfiction, maybe a book about how to survive on a desert island. Is that cheating? Probably feels like cheating because I said fiction initially. Victoria asked earlier what you thought about the Stormlight Archive. You're reading through book 2 on your own.
Yeah. It's okay. Like right now, there's so much going on.
You're in the Sanderlanche of Wars of Radiance.
Yeah. And it's like overwhelming my brain. I need to like dedicate some time to just finish it because right now I'm grabbing like 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, and it's making me crazy. So yeah, it's amazing. It's so much stuff.
Let's see. Lots of more Name of the Wind talk. Okay, I asked Donna why she didn't like it. I hated the main character, so full of himself. I have heard that.
What is this book?
The name of the Wind. It's by an author named Patrick Rothfuss. It's known for having like super beautiful prose, but also the author wrote the first 2 books. And I'm pretty sure there's like a huge cliffhanger, and it's supposed to like be a series, but he hasn't written a book in a significant period of time.
Gotcha.
So, but I know a lot of people that really, really love the first one and then hate the next one. What book is on deck after Rhythm of War? I don't remember the specific release dates, but it's probably Fires of Vengeance because I really want to read that. I have both Rhythm of War and Fires of Vengeance pre-ordered. So, but the thing is that Fires of Vengeance will likely be something that I could finish before Rhythm of War, depending on how I focus my time, because Fires of Vengeance will probably be a wild ride from start to finish and like never stop if it's anything like the first book. Whereas Rhythm of War, I heard from Ryan the other day that Rhythm of War is like 1 page less than Oathbringer. And it's so long.
So big.
I was just having a conversation the other day. It's like Oathbringer is too long. I love Brandon Sanderson. I love the Stormlight Archives. I love what happens in that book. And I don't necessarily think you should change what happens. It's too long. That book is too long. What books or kinds of books do you think you might read in 2021? I'll probably keep reading fantasy. That seems like a given. I would like to branch more into sci-fi. I want to use a little bit of October to get into a little bit more horror because I want to read something scary. And then I don't know. I might see myself branching. When I first started BookTube, I actually was reading way more broadly. I was trying to read some more classic stuff. I was trying to read some more just all over the spectrum, I guess, like historical fiction. But I don't know. Whatever I'm in the mood for. I picked up that Bachman book recently, which is a contemporary, and I loved that, but I don't know if I would love all contemporaries. How far am I into To Sleep in a Sea of Stars? I'm a little over halfway. I am struggle busing with To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. I don't want to say anything too crazy because I don't hate it. I also definitely don't love it. And I'm also not finished. So I don't want to fully like divulge my full dump until I know for sure that everything is not going to go differently. But I'm struggling with that one so hard. I'm actively having a hard time reading it. I don't want to say it's putting me into a slump, but it's kind of putting me into a slump. And it's bumming me out more than anything because I want it to be so good. I really do like the Aragon series. It's hard. Lord of the Rings is often published as one book. Totally not counting. I count the movies as one also. Okay, good. I think cheating is what he meant there. Oh, he said that again later. He fixed it. Where is the chat? I am so far behind again. Let's see. Robinson Crusoe. Wasn't Bethany, your sister, telling me that I should read that?
Mm-hmm.
I think I would like that book. I think I probably should pick that up. I really should pick up more classics. I didn't read a ton of them. Have you read Poppy War? I have, and I put a review up on my channel. I think this is a joke because we've actually talked about this book before. There's a review on my channel I thought was fine. It's actually 10,000 words longer than Oathbringer. Oh no, Brandon. It's not good.
Oh man.
They could have changed the sizing so it's one book less. Okay. About what to read in 2021. Don't forget us indies. I want to make a point to read more self-published and indie books and talk about more of them. I think that even includes the A.G. Riddle one that I talked about earlier that I talked about. Nobody talked about him. He's a self-published author. Though I think an indie published thing did his most recent trilogy. But yeah, I want to read your book. I want to make more time for that dedicated to try to do that more specifically every month or read at least one every month or over some time period. I want to make a concerted effort to do more indie reading because I also think that like with the same thing that goes on with like films and video games, the indie stuff is where you see a lot more risks being taken. It's why sometimes they aren't vibing with the big publishers as much. I like to see that kind of thing. Are you planning to read Sabriel so I have a valid excuse to reread it? I thought you just reread that book. Slag wants me to read this book very badly, and she brings it up every time. And I saw the cover, and I'm going to admit that I oftentimes care about. I am totally going to admit to reading books based on their cover. The cover for that book looked awesome, so it made me more interested. Thank you for showing up, Ryan. I don't think we'll be here too much longer. Let's talk classics privately. Big classics kick. I sometimes struggle with classics, but I am curious. It wasn't a joke. Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. The Poppy War. I gave 3 stars. I made a video review for it. If you want to see all of my stuff there. Slag says she probably did just reread it then. Gulliver's Travels. Okay, I have never read Gulliver's Travels, but I have watched when I was really little. I probably wasn't that little. Okay, I am a little bit of a chicken when it comes to watching scary things. So I probably wasn't actually that young, but I remember being somewhat young. And someone was watching probably like a sci-fi adaptation of Gulliver's Travels. And listen, I don't know if this is accurate or if this is my hyperactive imagination gone completely buck wild. But I guess it's spoilers. There's a scene in that movie where there's like people that are immortal, and they're like, I've also tried to make a D&D campaign based on my nightmares of this, so maybe this is mixing things up.
This is like really scarring for you.
I feel like there was like people that found like a fountain of youth, and they were living forever, but their bodies were still failing. So they were like blind and deaf, and like they were still kind of decaying a little bit, but they were still alive. They couldn't die. And it terrified me. It was one of the like most mentally scarring things I've ever had. And I doubt that movie is actually that scary. But when I saw a piece of that adaptation, it really did scar me, and it made me want to write a whole D&D campaign. Okay. Am I going to pick up the Dragon Republic? Probably at some point. But I wasn't in a rush. I actually picked up Mistborn instead, and I'm way more interested in reading Mistborn Book 2 than I was for reading the Dragon Republic. And this is why I keep calling her Slag. It's her username in everything.
Nice.
Let's see. Elliot Brooks gave a recent shout out to Sabriel, which I think I did see that. Maybe that's where I saw the cover. Una's first breakdown of literature ever was actually Gulliver's Travels. Do you think I would like Gulliver's Travels, Una? Does that sound like something that I would like to read? My most mentally scarring thing is Venom in the animated series of Spider-Man. I loved that show when I was a kid. The animated series of Spider-Man. The problem was with the animated series of Spider-Man that for whatever reason, the whatever network, I think it was Cartoon Network, never showed the episodes in order. They would literally show the episodes in just whatever order they felt like. I feel like it was bouncing all around the timeline. I don't think that show is meant to be watched that way, but that's always how it aired.
That's so weird.
Let's see. Has anyone here read Gulliver's Travels and can tell me if that was real or not? Let's see. Thank you so much, Jessica. If I could pick only one metal to burn, which metal would it be? My daughter is moving. She's sleeping on the floor over there. It's a nice soft carpet. We're not terrible parents, probably.
Probably.
If I could pick only one metal to burn, what would I pick? Crap. Okay. First of all, I have a confession. I did complain about how much Sanderson talked about what the stinking metals were doing and how much he over-explained his magic system. I may have made a joke that he is really, really obsessed with just retelling his magic system over and over. But I honestly don't remember exactly what all metals do, what all powers. Does that make any sense? Sure. There's like 8 metals, the basic metals that do powers. If I could pick one to do, whatever one that probably makes me push, because it would be kind of like you're flying. But the problem is that you couldn't correct, because I think that the push and the pull were separate powers. Let's see. Only familiar with the Jack Black movie. I wanted to see that. I'm sure that one was not the scary thing. You were sidetracked. Was there a thing in Gulliver's Travels where somebody was like they found a fountain of youth that was keeping them alive forever, but their bodies were still decaying, and it was a nightmare factory? Or was that just my brain? That was the question. Thank you for showing up, Victoria.
Hi.
Probably 13 or 14. Okay, so you don't remember if that was real or not. Speaking of which, I've done this before with my other friends that have shown up. The Codex Cantina is another YouTube channel where they talk about literature, and they do like full literature breakdowns for like the purpose, and I think they do it for educational purposes. I mean, that's why I watched their channel. But they do like classic literature breakdowns. They are doing a series on William Faulkner, and they're doing like a personally created and assigned Faulkner certificate, and you should check out their channel if that's the kind of thing that you're into. They read things almost exclusively that I would not choose to read, but also I love watching, being exposed to that stuff, and I feel like I'm getting educated when I watch that kind of thing. Okay. Let's see. There's more Mistborn talk going on. I also wanted to give a shout out when I had some time to some of the channels that were really helpful to me when I started. When I decided that I wanted to start making BookTube videos, I made my BookTube newbie tag, which of course your BookTube newbie tag gets a ton of views because a lot of people go there. I don't know if people go there to find friends or subscribers. It's just a good hotbed for finding everything. And I wanted to give a shout out to some of the people that were really helpful and very friendly to me when I first showed up. The first one is Nikki at I Read Past My Bedtime. After I finish the stream, I'm going to add all of them to the descriptions. But I_read past my bedtime. She reads almost exclusively indie published books, and she does reviews for them. And she is also one of the nicest community members that I've come across in the community. She's extremely positive. She's good about recommending other people's channels. When I read the book, what was that book called? Little Darlings last year. The Little Darlings kind of is a little bit like a horror story, a little bit of a dark fairy tale, but at the same time, it's also secretly kind of about the importance of helping people after they have a baby. And that's a weird thing to say, but I also think that's one of the major themes of the book. And when I published that review, Nikki found it. I don't know how she found it, but she helped get my channel more exposure at the beginning, and that was super helpful. I also want to give shout outs to Scott at the Book Invasion, who does sci-fi and horror primarily reviews. He also loves to do a lot of indie stuff. He is very, 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 very pro, like shouting out other creators all the time on Twitter. Him and Kayla from Crack Into a Good Book, they do an excellent job about finding new people. They're very friendly. It's really cool to talk about books with them. And then they're really good about whenever somebody's looking for more book people to follow on Twitter, they're always shouting as many creators as they can out. It's super awesome. Also, both of them have their own channels. Scott's was Book Invasion. Kayla's was Crack Into a Good Book. Kayla also reads faster than maybe anyone else I know, maybe even faster than Slag. She is an incredibly fast reader. She also does like many summaries of every single book that she reads pretty much. And so if you just want a like blast of a ton of different books at once, her channel, she does that. And then also somebody that's more of a bookstagrammer than YouTuber at this point was Cat at Rustic Pages. When I was really, really small, we became friends on YouTube, and she shouted out my channel, and it helped a lot with getting exposure in the beginning. But you should go check out her Bookstagram. I am not a Bookstagram expert, but I love looking at her feed because it's just absolutely beautiful. I wanted to get that out. Those people are also, they're super great. They've been super kind to me. And so I wanted to make sure that I give them shout outs. Let's see. Where in the world is this comment going? People talking about Mistborn. Okay, maybe I made that all up. The Gulliver's Travels thing. Maybe I just made that up and it was part of my campaign and it was all crap. Can I put links to the booktubers I mentioned in the description? Absolutely. I will as soon as I finish this video. I probably should have done it ahead of time, but as soon as I'm done with this stream, I'll put it in the video. I'll edit. Also, I can DM you if you want to know. I can DM you those links too. And I think that's all the questions we have for now, based on what I'm looking at. And also, I was planning on going for about an hour. I think we're almost done. Do you have anything that you want to say, babe?
Thank you, guys.
Amanda deserves basically all of the credit for anything that I've been able to do on this channel because, as I mentioned before, I suck very bad at editing and creating videos, and so it takes a very long time. So all of the time that I spend doing anything for the channel, which as the channel grows is more and more time, and I love it so much. But it also means that it's time that we don't get to spend together. So she does a lot of sacrifices of just time and also is super supportive and encouraging. She helps me bounce ideas, helps me know if I'm crazy or not. She wears the merch that I design because she is a much better model than I am at modeling the merch. And she also freaking takes care of our kids a lot of the time. So Amanda deserves pretty much the main credit for this channel because without her, it would not be able to exist.
You're sweet.
Thank you again for the congratulations. It's been a wild, crazy ride. It's been so fun. I'm so thankful to everyone that's been here, that's been watching the channel, that's been commenting, all of the friends that I've been able to talk about books with. This is the most social I've ever been in my entire life. And it's fun. I didn't know if I was that social of a person, but now with I'm in multiple Discords and I DM with people all the time. I have friends all over the country and the world now. And I can talk about books. I know friends for all of the different books that I'm reading. And it's incredible. It's been such a wonderful experience. Thank you, Dan, for people do let me know if I'm crazy. My previous unpopular opinions video helped me know which of my unpopular opinions were actually unpopular or not. Let's see. And people just saying thank you. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for celebrating with me. This has been amazing. I am excited to continue doing this. It's been a blast. I'm loving reading again. If you want to have more discussions, please check out my Discord, which is linked down below. That's everything.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.